We made it to Friday. Give yourself a nice little round of applause. But another hot day ahead of a very hot weekend. Let's get right to Mario Ruiz with that forecast. Good morning to you, Mario.
Hey there. Good morning. And today, by the way, the coolest of the next couple of days because we'll be in the triple digits again come Saturday and come Sunday. But it'll feel like it today. Don't you worry. We are dealing with a little more cloud cover this morning than the last several mornings. Temperature of about 82 degrees right now at DFW Airport, but it feels like 88 when you do factor in the humidity. We're holding on to quite a bit of heat and also holding on to quite a bit of humidity this morning. Winds are out of the southeast anywhere between 5 to about 10 miles per hour. And today, because the heat index will be a factor, another day of a heat advisory. This time around, it includes less counties, but DFW is included in this heat advisory. It's in place, by the way, through 8 this evening for heat index values up to about 107 for this afternoon. And like I said, we're still holding on to quite a bit of heat, especially at DFW, especially across areas of Denton, McKinney, Dallas, and in Fort Worth, all in the low 80s. A few surrounding locations in the upper 70s this morning. And yes, the heat index today in the triple digits again for several hours this afternoon. So we'll break down the day hour by hour for you. We're also talking about what's left of Tropical Storm Bertha, just the remnants now, and how that is going to play a factor in the rest of the day across the state. That's all coming up in a few minutes. But first, a check of your roads. Stacia Wilson is in this morning. I already see some flashing lights over there, Stacia.
Yes, we do have some flashing lights. So this is in far southwest Tarrant County. We're looking live along US 77 southbound at Hawkins Home Boulevard. Looks like they have currently closed that portion of the highway off. Every once in a while, you'll see a vehicle drive through here. This is not a busy intersection by any means. I'm not seeing any major backups as a result of this, but it looks like every once in a while a vehicle will be able to make it through, but TxDOT has listed it as closed currently. So it's my understanding that those are probably work vehicles. Just looking at a couple other things that we're seeing, you have a little bit of a closure going on still along 820 northbound, right there in the Bedford area from overnight road work. We're also checking a couple more cameras over there in Dallas County. Things are nice and quiet along I-35 Colorado. Most of your roads right now look like this. All right, Dia, Matt.
All right, thank you for that, Stacia. New overnight, a deadly shooting in southeast Dallas. It happened on Lake June Road, just east of Highway 175. Here's the scene just after 10:30 last night. It appears to have happened right outside of an automotive center. Investigators say one person was killed, but we don't know if any arrests have been made.
This morning, several high-profile cases involving ICE are raising questions about due process and immigration enforcement.
One of them involves a Southwest Airlines flight attendant. Our Natalie Haddad is live at Dallas Love Field Airport with what we know so far. Natalie?
Good morning. ICE has identified the Southwest Airlines flight attendant that they arrested 10 days ago as Lorenzo Thompson. He is a Jamaican national. They say he was arrested with that incident at the Nashville International Airport. ICE says Thompson legally entered the United States in 2021 with permission to stay for 6 months, but allegedly remained in the country after his authorized stay expired. He now remains in ICE custody while immigration proceedings continue. The Flight Attendants Union, TWU Local 556, says it has been in contact with Thompson's family, legal counsel, and the family's attorney as it works to better understand the circumstances surrounding his detention. Thompson's arrest follows the detention of TCU student Luis Andrade Garcia. Arlington police say he was arrested June 27th, transferred to ICE custody on July 10th, and federal officials now say he has been deported to El Salvador. Immigration attorneys tell us now that Garcia is in El Salvador, his legal options are limited, but as for Thompson, immigration proceedings will determine whether he gets to stay or whether a deportation may be in his future. We'll send it back to you in studio.
All right. Thank you so much, Natalie. It's been nearly 2 straight weeks of the U.S. bombing Iran. Now President Trump says he may go even bigger with those attacks.
This is all causing oil and gas prices to continue to skyrocket. ABC's Karen Hua has the details.
This morning, U.S. forces bombing Iran for the 13th straight night. Iran says it responded by attacking U.S. bases in Bahrain and Jordan. Now Trump tells Axios, I am considering a massive attack, bigger than ever before, but he has not made a final call. Senior officials tell ABC News the strike could be bigger than anything from Operation Epic Fury. But even with threats of more military action, the New York Times reporting overnight Iran rejected a new U.S. ceasefire offer, which was reportedly brought to the table by Iraq's prime minister after a White House visit. This comes as Houthi rebels in Yemen, backed by Iran, attacked 2 Saudi oil tankers in the Red Sea. And President Trump signed a controversial deal to help Saudi Arabia develop a nuclear energy program. But this would require the Saudis to normalize diplomatic relations with Israel, which they refuse to do unless Israel clears a path to a Palestinian state. The nuclear deal causing bipartisan alarm.
The world right now should tremble because a new nuclear weapons era has begun in the Middle East.
I want to make sure it's done under the appropriate oversight and safeguards.
The economic fallout for American consumers has been swift. Crude oil closed at $100 a barrel for the first time since May. The Dow down more than 500 points. And gas is up this week to nearly $4.11 a gallon. Experts say it could hit $4.40 in the coming weeks. A new Fox News poll shows 2/3 of American voters, 67%, disapprove of how President Trump is handling the economy. That is a career low. Karen Hua, ABC News, Washington.
And here's where Texas and DFW gas prices stand this morning. North Texas now surpassing the state average by 4 cents at $3.75 a gallon. 2 FedEx workers are in critical condition after their truck was hit by a train on State Highway 81 north of Itasca. It happened around 2 p.m. yesterday afternoon. Investigators say that truck was on a private drive when it was hit by the train while crossing the tracks. Officials say there are no crossing arms or warning signals at that crossing. We reached out to Union Pacific and FedEx for more information about the crash. Still waiting to hear back.
Now let's get you 3 things that you need to know this morning. Check your refrigerator this morning because more than 1 million eggs are part of a recall due to a potential salmonella contamination. The recall is for both white and brown eggs with a best buy date from July 20th to August 17th. And they were sold at stores across the state like Kroger. You can return the cartons to the store and get a refund. SpaceX will try to launch the world's largest and most powerful rocket from South Texas today. Yesterday's test flight was delayed due to weather. Today's launch window opens this evening at 5:45. When the rocket eventually lifts off, it'll deploy 20 next-generation Starlink satellites. And get ready to saddle on up for one of the most popular cowboy events of the year. The 37th annual Texas Black Invitational Rodeo is tomorrow. It benefits the African American Museum at Fair Park, and the fundraiser, which celebrates the legacy of black cowboys and cowgirls, will pay tribute to late cowboy legend Cleo Hearn.